Thank you for joining us today. How are you all? That are still a number who are just trying to get in right now. But we have here in the chat box some people from Masbate. Welcome, Liceo de Masbate. Holy Cross of Matanao from Davao del Sur. Welcome to our session this afternoon. And we have also from Holy Spirit Academy of Malolos, from Pio Corpus Central School. Hello, how are you? Welcome. Masbate National Comprehensive High School, um, POV Corpus, Merinol College of Panabo, Davao. Um, great. Mobo National High School. Hello, welcome. And everyone else. Great. From we have from Laguna, we have from Marikina, we have from Manila. A big number from Masbate, thanks to Father Ayan de la Cruz, and a big number also from Dagupan, Pangasinan, thanks to Bishop Sok, who sent out extended the invitation to the 15 schools in Lingayan, Pangasinan. Great. It's 3 o'clock. And thank you for being professionals. I mean, you're here on time, on the dot, because you are professionals. That's what professional people do. They, when they say 3 o'clock, it's three. It's not 3:01. It's not 3:02. Okay, so, and I'm very happy to see all of you here for our session today on creating a kind and caring classroom. Um, Okay, great. Well, like what we always do, I think it's proper that we begin with a prayer. And I'm going to start this prayer for teachers, for all of us, for all of you, because we do need prayers. We do need all the interventions from God to be able to do what we need to do. Okay, welcome to Universidad de Santa Isabel, uh, to our friends from Feliciano Samonte Memorial High School. Welcome po. Atendido National High School, Palanas, Masbate. Thank you for joining us. Of course, our big group of friends from CIC Cebu, Colegio Inmaculado Concepcion, St. Louis de Marilac, College of Bogo. Hello, good afternoon. Okay, well, let's pray. This is a prayer for all of you teachers, especially given this kind of situation we find ourselves in. Teaching has become more challenging than ever, and so we invoke God for all of you.
A prayer for teachers. Giver of all wisdom and greatest of all teachers, look upon our teachers with love. Grant them the resolve to nurture our eager minds and to never give up on us who fall behind. Bless their hearts, for they rejoice when we succeed and encourage us when we fail. Endow them with gentle patience, for the path of learning is never easy. Kindle a spirit of passion in them. It is the flame that ignites the love of learning in us. Help them see the potential in each student. Their belief in us means much more than the grade we make. Instill in them a commitment to keep on learning. It shows us to not fear new knowledge and experiences. Inspire them to touch the future. They influence how big a dream we dream for ourselves. Bless our teachers who have come before, for their work endures to this day. Let the light of your example shine upon all teachers, to build up with their words, to love with their mind, to share with their heart. Amen.
Okay, well, that's a prayer for all of us, for all of you teachers. I myself am on my 34th year as a classroom teacher. And as we did the past few days that we've been here for this series of seminars, we will also invoke Saint Joseph, the terror of demons. That's one of the titles given him by the church. And we mentioned, I think yesterday, we badly need Saint Joseph these days to fight against the demons that plague, especially among the young people, the demon of pornography, the demon of addiction, the demon of laziness, of attachment to technology, gadgets. We need badly the help of Saint Joseph. And so I'd like us, aside from that praying for the teachers, I'd like us teachers to pray to him and to run to him. We just accompanied him with the Blessed Virgin Mary in celebrating the birth of our Lord. And it's still Christmas season, and so it's still timely. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all of you. May you have a better year ahead of us after what we've been through. And so let's start with this prayer to Saint Joseph, invoking him to help us so that we do our work well in fighting against the demons, especially the demons that are plaguing many young people. Let's pray in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. O blessed Saint Joseph, guardian of the child Jesus, we pray that you will help us in our daily troubles and tribulations as we try to pass on to our students all the teachings that they need to be able to succeed in their chosen professions. Help us to teach and help them to learn. Guide us all as you guided your most holy Son, Jesus. Obtain for us the graces we need, not only to teach and to learn, but to stay on the path shown by the light of Christ. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay, well, together we just invoked Saint Joseph, the patron of the Universal Church, the terror of demons. But another title we give him is the Master of the Master Teachers and the Master of the Master Teacher. He was the teacher of of our Lord Jesus. I mean, think about it. It's possible. It's very possible. Some of the parables Jesus preached, he could have learned from Mary and Joseph. Even the strategy in connecting with people, the attitude of being respectful, courteous, loving, kind, all these, most likely Saint Joseph was responsible for teaching in our Lord. Okay, we're now on the fourth of the five seminars on teaching with purpose. And I am interested to know, we have seen already our friends from Masbate, from Kawayan National High School. Hello, Magsaysay, ES, Elementary School, Uson, South District, Mobo National High School, Buena Vista National High School. Hello from San Fabian, Pangasinan, the Archdiocesan School of San Fabian. Hello po, welcome sa inyong lahat. Thank you. Now, what I'd like to see is please type in the chat box. One, if this is your first time to attend our series this week. Two, if you've attended two seminars so far. Three, and four, if you have been attending every day for the last 4 days. Okay, kindly please let us know. Wow, Genevieve, you're completing it. Liceo Damasbate, hello, you're fourth already. We have a number who are first time here. Flora May is first time. Joy Salazar is first time. Welcome, welcome. Dean Nacion, hello po. Janelle Garbo, first time also. Lenji, oh, we have a big number of first time who are joining us. Si Ted, 4 beses na raw. And okay, so May prize ba? Sabi ni Teacher Hedy. Meron, and I'm going to announce it later in a while. You are going to like the prize, especially my good friend Teacher Hedy. She will like it very much if she doesn't have the book of Saint Joseph or Champions of the Rosary yet. Great. Okay. Thank you to all of you who have been coming. To all who are first time, allow me to introduce myself a bit to you so that you know who is here in front of you talking. I am Mann Rentoy. I have been a teacher for the last 34 years. And I'm actually based in Sri Lanka, but since last year. But because of this pandemic, I've been stranded here in Manila since July. And so I continue being an instructor in UANP. Last week, we finished our course on moral development of adolescents. Pinag-aralan namin yung mindset nitong mga teenagers ngayon and how can we safeguard their morals. And before leaving for Sri Lanka last year, I was still teaching in an all-boys school in Quezon City called Paref Northfield School. And I founded a school in Iloilo City. It's called Paref West Bridge School, which is now one of the top schools in Region 6, all boys. And it's still there, very strong. Before I moved on to my own alma mater, where I finished high school, Southridge School in Alabang, where I served also as principal of intermediate school, vice principal of high school, and the religion department chair. So many of the ideas also I'll share with you. I learned in my years as administrator and as a teacher. But the last 11 years, I've been spending more time reaching out to teachers, community leaders, parents to remind them, let's make character formation a top priority given the crisis we are seeing today. And the last 5 years, it's more with the Center for the Fourth and Fifth Arts Asia, of which I am the executive director, and it's an affiliate of Center for the Fourth and Fifth Arts based in the State University of New York in Cortland, USA. Okay, and it's otherwise known as the Dr. Thomas Licona Institute for Asia. So today we're going to talk about something that is urgent, something that is needed. Some of you, maybe you're here because you are concerned, like many of us, about the state of bullying that is happening in many places. Let me assure you that bullying is not just in your school, it's happening everywhere. It's happening in every place, every city. Many people are trying to cope with this problem. And today I'm going to share with you some strategies and some proven methods, a lot of principles on how we can possibly create a kind and caring classroom. I can assure you, I will not be able to finish the 250 slides of this presentation. That's why pauunahan ko na kayo. We will end after 2 hours, but the rest of the slides are going to be available for downloading. In fact, it's already available in our Facebook page, which I have been repeating again and again. I hope you go there in order to be able to download the PowerPoint presentation I'm using, as well as the presentations I used the past 4 days, as well as the recording of our session. Because, like what happened this morning, in the middle of our session, nawalan ng kuryente sa Masbate. And so, some of my participants, kawawa naman, were logged out. But no problem. They can now access the recorded video in YouTube, and the link is available for downloading or for clicking in the Facebook page. Okay? So don't worry if your Wi-Fi suddenly starts giving you problems. It's okay. You will have a chance to catch up by Well, viewing the video, the recorded video. Okay? So, yung sa Facebook page, if you go to Facebook, just type in the search bar, Catholic School Teachers Materials. Okay? Catholic School Teachers Materials. So, 4 words lang yun. That's the name. And then lalabas yung um, the logo of our seminar, Teach with a Purpose. And click join. Wait until you're accepted. Once you're accepted, you will have access to all the handouts that are available there. Make sure to scroll down kasi the materials are not just in one place. They are scattered all throughout the page. Reading materials, PowerPoint, and even the link to the YouTube recording of our presentation. Okay? So we move on. Here it is. Sabi ni Albert Einstein sa atin, try not to become a man or woman of success, but rather try to become a man or woman of value. You see, um, what does it matter if a man is successful, pero he uses that success to step on other people, to be unfair with other people, and worse, to steal, to cheat. That it's so difficult, in fact, to deal with someone who is successful but is arrogant. Di ba? I mean, tayo, na-experience na natin yan. With work with people who are hard to deal with because of their pride, because of their arrogance. Yung bang matalino nga at mayabang naman. On the other hand, how wonderful it is to have teachers in the faculty, to work closely with teachers who are men and women of value, men and women of character. They may not be geniuses, they may not be valedictorians, they may not even be rich, but they are so wonderful to be with because they are men and women of character. They have values. And that is what makes people more attractive. So then, that is our concern. Pero sabi nga natin, the past 4 days, the past 3 sessions, ay nako, may crisis in character, may problema, no? Things are not as good as they used to be. In fact, sabi ng research, ang mga kabataan ngayon, they are not as kind, respectful, courteous, obedient as when you and I were young. May crisis. We will take a look at that. Sabi nga ng research, while we, teachers, may be producing a smart, self-assured generation of young people, today's kids are also the most self-centered and stressed out on record. Let me um, bring to your attention especially the stressed out on record. Sure, alam na natin yung self-centered, yung mga pa-selfie, taking pictures of their face, 10 angles, ayan. Taking a picture of themselves as soon as they wake up and then announcing to the world, woke up like this. Parang iniisip natin, napaka-vanity, vain naman itong taong ito. So, itong self-centered, alam na natin yan. But do you know that the young people today are also the most stressed out on record in the history of mankind? An example, nung bata ako, pagkatapos ng dismissal, kaming mga bata, laro na. Magtataguan, tumbang preso. Pero ngayon, ang dami kong kilalang estudyante, pagkatapos ng dismissal, ay, meron pang piano lesson. Ay, teka, may tutorials class pa yan. Teka, may advanced math pa. Merong common math, Singapore math, whatever math. No? Teka muna, meron pa siyang a-attendan na yung after school academic tutorials. Ay, teka muna. Di ba dapat naglalaro itong batang ito? So, sabi ng research, Not only are they the most self-centered on record in the history of mankind, they're also the most stressed out. So, my dear fellow teachers, ang gusto ko lang sabihin is we need to be more and more understanding, forgiving, and considerate of the young people today. Kasi ibang klase talaga. Ibang klase ang generation na kanilang pinagdadaanan. The lifestyle, the mindset, uh, even the way what they do after school hours. So, that is something to consider. And then, alam na natin itong immersion in technology, in social media. And alam nyo naman yan, spend 1 hour in Facebook and chances are you will come across bashing, you will come across ranting, complaining, somebody proclaiming his anger to the world. Tapos manonood ka ng 24 oras. Para bang kalahati ng balita is tungkol sa corruption, sa murder, assault, rape, stealing. This is like this is what the young people are subjected to. You and I have just been witness to this in the past days with this case of the Philippine Airlines flight stewardess na ngayon lumalabas na hindi naman guilty ang lahat ng 11 na yon. There's even possibility there was no rape and it was not murder. It's possible it was really aneurysm. But we don't know. Meanwhile, for 5 days from January 1, nung lumabas yung balita, or January 2, up to today, the internet, Twitter, Facebook, they have been filled with hatred, condemning these 11 boys, 11 men who have not even been proven guilty as murderers and rapists and criminals and at large. And so yesterday, pinakawalan yung tatlo that they were detaining kasi with the new videos they saw in the CCTV and in other sources, parang iba na ang kwento. So, but meanwhile, people destroyed already the reputation of these 11 boys. I'm not saying they're not guilty. It's possible they're still guilty. But teka muna, let us, they have the right to be innocent or not to be condemned until proven guilty. That is the world we're living in, where people would comment hate messages without even actually reading the article, without actually knowing the full story, without actually knowing what really happened. Nangyari rin to 2-3 years ago with this Ateneo boy who was caught on video punching and kicking a boy, si Joaquin Montes. It exploded on a December morning, and you have thousands of people condemning him kasi nakita nila yung video eh. Pero do they really have to say, do people really have to say things like, Montes, dito ka sa eskwelahan namin, papatayin kita? I mean, who gave them the right to say things like, Joaquin Montes, pag nakita kong pamilya mo, buong pamilya mo, papatayin ko. It's absurd. And thousands of comments like that. Sure, we do not tolerate bullying. We want sanctions and consequences, and eventually, in fact, Ateneo had to kick him out, no? But do we all have the right to foster that hatred, condemnation, anger? I mean, we are not in a position really. And yet, that is the kind of world the young people are living in. They are being manipulated to hate, to foster anger. And then there is the glorification of the vulgar. You go to Spotify, most of the music, most of the songs in the top 10 of global charts, may nakasulat, explicit lyrics. Explicit lyrics, meaning to say the song talks about sex and violence and foul language and bad words, vulgarity. And the young people today, wow, the movies they watch, and you and I too can be equally guilty of this. We sometimes watch movies na, I mean, really, there are some movies today, you have 257 foul language all throughout the 1.5 hours. You can have hundreds of F words sprinkled all over. Para bang almost every line ng character. Kailangan may mura, may bad words, may foul language. You know, I have a strategy in my class because I set high standards as far as vulgarity. I mean, as far as words are concerned. I prohibit use of foul language, bad words, profanity. So, pagka ang isang estudyante happens to utter a bad word, may strategy na ako. I would call the name John and then I would point to the mouth. Alam na nila yon. Alam niya na, John, watch your mouth, watch your language, but without having to say it. It's enough to call the name and then point to the mouth because we have to call attention of these people. None of the don't anymore resort to, John, how many times do you have to tell you not to use bad words? Hindi ka ba marunong makaintindi? Something's wrong with you? Kailangan ko ba bang Tagalogin sa'yo? I mean, um, in the end, you yourself are the one fostering that atmosphere of terror and fear and anger and so it's enough to say John and then point to the mouth. But you know what happens? I'll tell you. You know what usually happens? I say, John, halimbawa, John suddenly blurted out a bad word. So I will say, John, and then he would see me pointing to the mouth. And you know what usually happens? John would look at me and say, What? Why? What did I say? He uttered a bad word and he did not even realize it. He uttered a profanity and he did not even notice it because it has become so much a part of his system. It has become so much a part of their system kasi nga naman manonood ka ng sine sa Netflix 1.5 hours and you will hear the foul language, the bad words, the profanity, the curse word 200 times. And it becomes so much a part of their system, they start using it. It starts coming out of their mouth even unknowingly, even without realizing it, because of this glorification of the vulgar. And then, as I said, songs that talk about sex and making love and sensuality and eroticism and songs that do not have any value anymore. Glorification of the vulgar. Kalaban natin yan. Kalaban natin informing the character of our students. We mentioned earlier the thrill of viral bashing, even without knowing the complete story, for example. And every now and then, marami tayong makikita niyan about certain personalities being bashed online, and everybody feels like they have the right to contribute to the condemnation, the bashing. We are not condoning what they did, but the condemnation of human beings, the stepping on the dignity of a person, especially kung nagkamali, nagkasala, and repentant. So, sure, let's fight for justice, that justice be done, like what we witnessed recently of the policeman killing the mother and the daughter. Of course, we don't condone that. But at the same time, well, let God be the judge and let the law take its course and may justice be done. And then we know, we are aware of this. The young people today have become so absorbed with themselves, so absorbed in their cell phone. Makikita mo yan, di ba? Minsan, pasok ka ng isang kwarto, may 5 tao doon, nag-uusap ba sila? Ay hindi, each to his own gadget. Each to his own cellphone, tablet, laptop. computer, um, they're absorbed. And then, of course, we talked about this selfie culture of letting the world know what you're eating, letting the world know what you feel. I mean, it's all about the self. That is another enemy we have as educators and as formers of character. The epidemic of self-absorption, the epidemic of selfishness. Okay, so the topic is on kindness, and that's why we need to know this reality first. Kailangan alam natin ang pinanggagalingan ng ating mga estudyante, ng ating mga anak, ng ating mga clients in our business of enhancing lives. For those of you who are just joining us for the first time, that's what we mentioned as the job of teachers. We are not just here to cover the curriculum. We are here to enhance lives. We are engaged in the business of enhancing lives. And many people, many young people, go to the classroom not really in search of addition, subtraction, spelling, and grammar. Kasi lahat yun nasa internet na. Many students come inside the classroom needing answers about life, about issues, about why is the world like this? What constitutes happiness? What is the secret to being a successful human being, which is not about being rich, which is not about being popular? Because I know some rich and popular people who committed suicide. I know some famous people at the peak of their career who resorted to killing themselves. They're unhappy. So, teens are now 40% lower in empathy levels than 3 decades ago. And in the same period, narcissism has increased 58%. That's the situation we find ourselves now. And yes, that is contributory to the rise in cases of suicide. O nga naman, kasi if you're so immersed in yourself, you don't realize that there are people who love you, who care for you, who are interested in your security, in your values, in your good life. And then, pag nagka-problema ka, parang feeling mo you're alone. And then you end your life. Uh, It's not the only reason, but it is a big factor to it contributes a great deal to the rise in cases of suicide. Or kung hindi man suicide, depression, social media, um, selfishness, self-centeredness to the point that para bang ang feeling nila they are the center of the universe. And then if they're unhappy with their achievement, kasi kaunti, kasi kulang, or they're unhappy about their face, kasi they're not as beautiful as the girl in Instagram. They don't dance as well as the lady and guy in TikTok. Then they get depressed. Then they feel they're useless. Then they feel they are way below standards. All these have something to do with the digital natives, the digital generation. Kaya, alam mo, naghanap ako ng sino kayang makakaayos nito ng character ng mga tao, ng mga kabataan. Naghanap ako, baka naman kayang ayusin ni Mr. B-Boy Alulod ang problema. Oh, kasi he repairs. He repairs washing machine, refrigerator, he repairs electric pan, oven toaster, flat iron. Unfortunately, Mr. B-Boy Alulod cannot repair character. He cannot repair character. So, I continued looking. Uy, may nakita ako. Si Aling Tinay na manghihilot. Baka naman kayang ayusin ni Aling Tinay ang problema ng society na ng character. Yan, pilay. Pilay, masahe, buntis, 500 pesos. Kulamin ang tsismosa, 2,000 pesos. Gayumahin ang babae o lalaki, may special discount pa siya, 4,500. Chat sa kaluluwa, 5 minutes, 100 pesos. Talaga naman, ano? Unli chat, 500 pesos. Pero hindi rin eh. Aling Tinay cannot fix character and society. And then I realized who can fix character. I'm talking to them now. We teachers are in a position to be able to fix character, to fix society, to turn things around, and to get things better. We are the ones who will have to do it. So, the response, um, sorry, the response of some schools in the United States, may problem of cheating, may problem of stealing in campus, may problem of bullying. Ang response nila is maglagay tayo ng CCTV. And I know some schools in the Philippines are already resorting to this also. Yung bang feeling nila, bullying, masasolve natin yan. Maglagay tayo nitong mga sophisticated, expensive CCTV, television system, makukuha natin sa Shopee at Lazada. Like as if it will cure the disease of cheating, bullying, hatred. Some other schools, especially in the US, na ang daming mga cases of shooting, 'di ba? Campus shooting. So, ang solution nila, let's put metal detectors at the gate entrance. It's absurd. Metal detectors will not fix society, will not fix the problem of character. Or worse, some parents have started to think, ay, ba't ko e-enroll ang anak ko dyan only to be bullied? Dito na lang, ako na lang magtuturo sa iyo anak, libre pa. Tapos mag-exam ka na lang ng advanced placement exam bago mag-college. Homeschooling is becoming like an option for some parents. It's sad. All these are not going to really solve the real problem, which is the crisis in character. We need to do something more. One is we need to change the culture, the climate in our school. We have to make it a kind and caring school. And every classroom, a kind and caring classroom. Sabi nitong report, in order to reduce bullying, it is important to change the social climate of the school and the social norms regarding bullying. This requires the efforts of everyone in the school environment: teachers, administrators, school nurses, other non-teaching staff like bus drivers, custodians, cafeteria workers, and or school librarians, parents, and students. It's got to be a community effort. All of us will have to be engaged in assuring, in creating a kind and caring classroom, a kind and caring uh, school. Okay? And yeah, we also need to engage the parents. It cannot just be also on the part of the school. Pero we are the ones in charge of what happens in school. So let us not start putting blame here and there, and just ask ourselves, what have we done to make sure our school, our classroom is a safe haven for our students? Take note of this, what the report says. Pati yung bus drivers, even the ladies selling in the cafeteria, even Manong, the security guard, who sometimes is the one who is able to observe a child, a student being pushed around. All of them have to now get engaged and be involved in creating a healthy climate in campus. Take note of this. Research says student achievement increases when students feel comfortable in their learning environment. I know what some schools do in order to try to increase achievement, student achievement. They add review classes. Yan. They Add hours for math and science and English. Yan. Pero if the student comes inside the classroom, kahit dagdagan pa natin, 12 hours in a day, nandyan sa loob ng classroom. Pero kung yung batang yan, takot na takot of being bullied, being hurt, being harmed by a classmate, he's not really learning. He's not learning as much. In fact, half of his brain is covered in fear. How can you memorize in fear? How can you understand easily lessons while trembling, shaking, uh, because of afraid of being made fun of, teased, or worse, physically harmed by another student inside the classroom? On the other hand, on the other hand, research says if they love being in the school because it's a safe haven, if they know that in the school they have friends to count on, to run to help them, to support them, then they learn easily. Minsan nga may estudyante nagsasabi sa akin ganon na bakit parang mas naiintindihan niya raw ang lesson pag tinuro ng classmate niya. Pag si ma'am ang nagtuturo, parang hirap na hirap akong intindihin. Tapos magpapaturo ako dito sa classmate, uy, ang bilis maintindihan. Yun lang pala yun. So, the friendship, the feeling of being comfortable, being the knowledge that they are cared for matters and matters a lot. Gentleness and kindness will make our homes a paradise upon earth. I know this is a challenge. Kahit anong ganda ng eskwelahan natin, meron at magkakaroon ka, possibly, isa lang ang kailangan mong problematic student to make things difficult for the others. Pero, at least, hindi yung parang that is the culture. What we are after here is to create a whole culture of kindness, of welcoming atmosphere. That is what it means to create a kind and caring classroom. And you and I know this, how beautiful a day can be when kindness touches it. So, kindness, my dear fellow teachers, a caring classroom is not only comfortable, it allows us, the teachers, to spend more time teaching and less time handling student conflicts. Those of you who have been officers of schools or class advisors, you know that minsan nakakapagod mag-investigate ng disciplinary case. I mean, tanggalin natin yung minsan. Laging nakakapagod mag-investigate ng disciplinary case. I know a teacher who quit, who gave up the profession kasi hindi niya nakaya. Yung mauubos yung oras niya uh, investigating disciplinary cases. And then you realize, teka muna, this is not what I studied in School of Education for. I'm here to change lives, mold minds, teach character, form character, teach English in an exciting way, not to investigate yung away ng dalawang estudyante. And the parent comes and starts talking about, we talked to our lawyer, Mr. Rentoy, and our lawyer said, and you go to bed that evening with a headache thinking about the lawyer. Especially yung batang yon, guilty naman siya talaga. Pero the parents are now here to protect him by making use of lawyers and all that. Nakakapagod, nakaka-exasperate. I mean, we get exasperated by things like that. If our classroom is a caring classroom, it's not only comfortable, it makes life so pleasant, and we will be teaching like experts, like anything, without any fear or trouble of having to deal with problematic students and problematic parents. And okay, so may crisis in empathy, although that is the topic for tomorrow. But yes, itong problem with empathy brings about failure of students. I mean, that hurts the academic performance of the students. The problem with empathy, that leads to bullying behaviors, that leads to more cheating, that leads to less resilience among the students. They have the inability to collaborate, inability to innovate, and then the inability to problem solve. Here's a video I'd like to share with you as a way of resting a bit from listening to me. And okay, very well. So I hope that inspires all of us to drown the world with an abundance of goodness. So I'll share with you strategies to win the war. Actually, there is a 12-point program that was designed by Dr. Thomas Licona on how we can possibly create a kind and caring school. And he summarized it in this graph. 12-point program in order to create a kind and caring school. And you see, 3 strategies are for school-wide and 9 strategies are for classroom setting. We will not be able to tackle this But many of the principles, most of the principles I will be giving you are actually based on this 12 points. One strategy or another will fall under one of these 12-point program. Okay? But it's very important that we deliberately, intentionally work on creating a kind and caring classroom. Hindi yun mangyayari only by accident. Para bang, uy, ang galing ah, uh, chamba lang na biglang kind and caring. No, it has to be a deliberate and intentional approach on the part of the on the part of the management, on the part of the officers, and then, sabi nga natin kanina, involving the whole community, including the parents, and then, in some cases, even the neighborhood. I mean, kahit anong ganda ng character formation mo sa loob ng eskwelahan, kung pagtawid lang nila, nandun ang nagtitinda ng pornographic materials. Nandyan sa kabilang kanto, yung internet shop that offers access to harmful websites, not just pornographic, but so sometimes schools also need to start coordinating with the community. Pakikiusapan. In fact, bawal dapat, di ba? Yung like halimbawa, bawal ang inuman, ang bar or a place for drinking a certain number of meters from the school. By law, they are prohibited from doing that. But even without that law, the school should be reaching out to this neighborhood so that we can all together help form and strengthen the character of the people who are there. Okay, so let's go to the daily four. Yesterday, for those of you who were with us, hindi natin natapos yung strategies ni Hal Urban. Let me mute everyone. No? Strategies from Dr. Hal Urban from his book, 20 Things Good Teachers Do. Okay? Remember, we are after creating a kind and caring classroom that will effectively create a kind and caring school. Here are four things that Hal Urban would do every day in his classroom to set the tone and to make the atmosphere one of kindness and caring. And okay, it may take a bit of time, 1 minute for number one, 1 minute for number two, or but the effect is lasting. And more than that, the disposition of the students becomes so different. They're not afraid. They feel like they belong. So, what are these? For example, instead of just starting the class with a prayer, which most Catholic schools, if not all Catholic schools do, they start the class with a prayer. And instead of, for example, on certain days, instead of using the formula prayers, which are okay, but every now and then it's good to teach the kids prayer that they compose themselves, that are spontaneous, prayers that really come from their heart. No? So sometimes Hal Urban, for example, would start by saying, okay, anybody wants to share with us a good news that we can thank God for so that we include it in our prayer to start the class? And some people would raise their hand, sir, my father came back after leaving us for a few months. They started sharing even very intimate news like that, no? Or even small things like my dog got cured, he's not sick anymore. Great, okay, we'll include that. Who else? I passed the quiz this morning. I was not expecting it. I failed to study hard. Okay, let's include that. So sharing good news, you know, makes people start changing their outlook and they feel better. Or number one here, he would tell the students, okay, let's just spend 1 minute, 30 seconds share a good news to a partner. Choose a partner and then share a good news that you have, whatever it is, big or small. And then after 30 seconds, palit naman tayo. The other student is the one who's going to share a good news. No? Or number two, tell about someone or something you're grateful for. I'm grateful for Joanna who lent me a ball pen. Okay, great. Choose a partner and then spend 1 minute exchanging, um, telling each other someone or something you're grateful for. Number three, affirm someone in class. Whether it is just a simple thing as, John, I saw you prepared. I didn't have to tell you to go back to your seat. Good job, keep it up. That's what it means to be always ready. Uh, John, I saw you picking up trash without me even telling you. Good job. That's affirming someone. And you know, when the teacher starts the class like that, it's totally different. Or number four, make us laugh. Prepare a joke that you can share to the class. Make sure it is clean, it is wholesome. Make us laugh. We'll just have a minute or so for that. So, yeah, this will take a bit of time, but it changes the disposition of people. Contrast that, contrast this with a teacher who is scary, terror, shouting, screaming, yelling, and always looking like always angry. Kasi ang feeling niya, ang taas ng standards ko. I don't tolerate trash. I don't tolerate disorder. And so, John, anong kalat yan? Get out. Joanna, bakit ang gulo-gulo ng ayusin mo nga? The students start getting scared, terrified, afraid. And yeah, they don't want to be in a place like that where the teacher seems to be always on the lookout for mistakes. Because we've had friends who have told us that, bakit yung nanay ko parang lagi na lang mali ang nakikita sa akin? Bakit yung tatay ko parang hindi na yan, wala na siyang nakita sa akin kundi mali? I mean, who would like to be in a place like that? Who would like to be in a classroom like that? So, let's learn from Hal Urban. The daily four, you can come up with your other things that you want to do to start your class to get everyone feeling cared for and feeling the kindness of everyone. So let's learn about the strategies of Hal Urban. And I'm going to share with you the most important strategy he said he learned as a teacher. And he learned it on his last day of his first year as a teacher. Okay? It was the last day of his first year as a teacher. He would go on to teach for 20 plus years. Pero this most important thing he did as a teacher, he said he learned it on the last day. Why? What happened? Last day, final exam ng mga students. Here came a girl submitting a test paper. Hal Urban got the paper, and at that moment, he realized, I don't even remember the name of this girl. I don't even remember talking with her or dealing with her. And Hal Urban felt so bad. He thought, I am such a bad human being. I'm a bad human being. I was with this girl for 10 months and I did not treat her, deal with her, talk with her like a human being. This is not what a good educator would do. We read the quotation earlier for education to be effective, it has to be personal. There's got to be a personal dealing relationship. So at that moment, Hal Urban made a resolution. I will not be that kind of bad human being anymore. I will treat every single one of my students as a human being. How? From here on, every day, I will welcome my students inside the classroom with a handshake. And that's what he would do for 20 plus years. He would welcome his students inside the classroom with a handshake. with a smile, with eye contact, okay? Every single day. Sure, some of you will say, ay, that will take a bit of time, especially yung class ko, ang dami-dami. Okay, sure. Um, Maybe in our situation, it's enough to give everyone an eye contact before we begin the class as our way of greeting and authentically expressing our happiness to see them inside our classroom. That makes a big difference. In the case of Hal Urban, some of the students eventually preferred a high five. Okay, that's how he welcomed some of the students. Some of them preferred a fist bump. Okay, that's how he welcomed them. Some of them preferred something they don't get anywhere, a hug, a hug from someone who cares. Okay, that's what he did. He would welcome some of them with a hug because that's what they want, that's what they prefer. And it changed totally. And he knows it changed the students totally because 20 years later, 30 years later, he would meet former students and they would tell him that action of welcoming them made a big difference in their life. It was the class that they felt they really belonged to, they belonged in, they felt at home. They felt the love, the caring, the kindness. It's totally different. Now, um, we have to remember what George Isaac Brown said. Never, teachers, never let the demands of your job cause you to forget that each one of your students is a feeling, thinking human being. For education to be effective, it must be personal. And John Dewey has this to say: the deepest urge in man, in human nature, is the desire to be important. And that's what you do when you welcome the students with a handshake, with a smile, with a hug, with a fist bump, with a high five. You're making them feel important. And then they're excited to be inside that classroom. They're excited to be with you. Nung umpisa, sabi ni Hal, some students didn't even know how to shake hands, no? Yung bang pagka nag-shake hands siya with some of them, uy, parang patay na isda ang hinahawakan niya. Parang walang kabuhay-buhay. Um, but you know, as he would do it day after day after day, they learn it. They shake hands firmly, they look at the eyes of the person, and they also give back the smile. And they bring that with them everywhere else they go. They go to a party, their parents bring them to a social gathering. These kids know how to shake hands, look in the eyes, and give a smile. GMRC in action. And Hal Urban was not even teaching GMRC or values or manners and right conduct. You see, that's why we said, and we have been repeating it, those who are in this seminar are not just the values teachers, the guidance counselors, the religion. The ones who are here in the seminar is anyone at all, any teacher, whatever subject is handling, who wants to be a really good educator. Okay, some of you will say, ay, Mr. Rentoy, hindi naman yan Filipino culture. Okay, you want them to do mano po? O di sige, some of them can do mano po. Or some of you will say, Mr. Rentoy, kung alam mo lang kung gaano karami ang estudyante namin, edi 20 minutes pa lang ubos na sa kaka-congratulate tsaka shake hands. No, not really. In fact, if you yourself maybe find it a bit difficult, sige, assign somebody to be the welcomer to the class every day, like what this school did.
ahead, Asher Bills.
Okay, so very nice. You can assign somebody to be the one to do the welcoming to every single one of the students, and they take turns. And after 50 days, everyone has been the welcomer of the day, and you go again, the new cycle, and everybody enters the classroom with that feeling of, wow, I belong in this class. I'm happy to be in this class, and they're happy too. They show me that they're happy for me to be inside. So that's a strategy from Hal Urban. Here's the second most important thing he did as a teacher. He said he taught the students manners and the golden rules. And the golden rule, we talked about this yesterday. Sabi ko, in classroom management, jokingly or seriously, I would tell the participants, you can actually have the golden rule as the only rule in the classroom. You can actually say, class, there is only one rule in our class, and that is the golden rule. And you're okay. That can be a kind and caring classroom, and that can be a successful class. But we have to teach manners. We have to teach the students to say often, please, thank you, sorry, kindly. We have to teach them all this because sabi nga ni Henry Rogers, if manners were an animal, it would be an endangered species. Yan. If manners were an animal, it would be an endangered species. That's why it's true. Whether there is GMRC as a subject or not, kahit anong subject ang tinuturuan mo, let's use. Please, thank you, sorry. I always make sure I do it in my class. So I don't just say, bring out one fourth sheet of paper. Uh, Please bring out one fourth sheet of paper. Okay, sit down now. Please be seated. And then here comes a student submitting an assignment. Thank you very much. Another one. Thank you very much. Somebody else is submitting. Thank you very much. Umuulan. Umuulan dapat sa loob ng classroom ng please and thank you. And then we are not afraid to say, sorry, I made a mistake about my announcement. Hindi pala Tuesday ang exam, Wednesday pala. I'm sorry about that. I got confused. And there's nothing wrong with apologizing, accepting that we commit mistakes. They're all part of manners and right conduct. And then, greeting students along the corridor. Ay, teka muna, I just greeted them katatapos lang ng class. It's okay. And teachers, don't be like some teachers I know, hihintayin mauna yung bata. Tapos in fact, pag hindi na good morning ang bata, ano yan? Greet good morning. Yung para bang imposing. Then let us be the first one to say good morning so that they start getting the habit, the attitude. The next time they meet us, uunahan na nila tayo. Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am. It's part of manners and right conduct. Even if 10 times na natin binati ng good morning, it's okay. I mean, it doesn't hurt, but it does help in developing good manners and right conduct. Here's another strategy of Hal Urban that I think is very useful. Ang strategy niya is on day one. Actually, you can do this the very next class that you will have with your students. On day one, he would ask the class to describe to him, class, sige nga, describe to me the classroom you don't like to be in, the classroom you don't want to be in. Magtataasan ng kamay ng mga bata, di ba? Sasabihin ng isa, sir, ayaw namin yung may rudeness, rude students. Ayaw namin ng inconsiderate. Susulat mo lahat yon sa left side of the blackboard. Disrespectful, ayaw namin yon, sir. Offensive words, offensive language, offensive actions. Susulat mo lahat ng ayaw nila sa loob ng classroom. And then, You ask the next question. Now, can you describe to me the classroom you want to be in, that you like? So, magde-describe naman sila ngayon. Sir, we want courteous. We want considerate. We want respectful. We want polite. Very good. You put them all down on the right side of the board. And then, ask the class, hindi ito galing sa akin ha, galing sa inyo to. You don't like this and you want this. Can we now commit ourselves? Kasi kayong nag-dictate nito eh. Can we now commit ourselves? Pagbabawalan natin itong mga tong you don't like, rudeness, inconsiderateness, disrespect, offensive. And then we will foster and we will make sure we live courtesy, considerateness, respect, politeness, etc. We get them to do that commitment, that pledge na bawal ito, tapos we will foster this. And those two things can end up in two posters. One on the left side of the classroom, the other one on the right side. So that next time around, you hear somebody teasing another person, offensive, rude, no need to get angry. All you have to do is say the name, John, and then point to the poster. Meaning, di ba nag-commit tayo na sabi natin ayaw natin yung ganyan sa loob ng classroom? Didn't we promise that we are going to fight against that? You see, without even saying anything except the name of the person, John, and then point to the poster, you are saying many things already. That is a strategy from Hal Urban in order to create a kind and caring classroom, and the teacher will not have to resort to, John, ilang beses ka ba dapat sabihan? Ikaw talagang bata ka, papatayin kita, kanina ka pa dyan, ang hirap mong, yung ganyan, ano? And then we are the ones destroying the atmosphere of kindness and caring that we are supposed to put in. That is a good strategy. Okay, now I've been talking for 4 hours, for 1 hour and 12 minutes. And so I'm going to play a video as a way of giving you a break. Those who need to go to the washroom, who need to drink water, take advantage of this. This is a 3-minute commercial from saan to? From Jollibee and another commercial, I think, also on.
Hello po. Good morning.
Okay ka, nininervous ka.
Slight.
How are you feeling? You're good?
Yeah.
May papakita kami sa inyo.
Panoorin ko siya.
Okay, yes?
What makes you happy?
I love hanging out with my mom because she takes care of me. Masaya ako kapag tinuturuan ako ng mami magbike. Kasi po kahit po hindi ko masyadong matunan, pinagtatsagaan niya pa rin po para po matutuwa ko. Mas special po kapag kami ni mami nagbabanding. Kasi po funny po siya. Masaya ako kapag nagigiliti ako ni mami. Nagigiliti niya ako. Madalas wala si daddy sa bahay. Pero pag nandyan siya, pinapasyal niya kami. I rather play with my mommy than with my toys. I love her so much. Ang sweet na ginawa ng mami ko para sa akin, pinagtsatsagaan niya ako. Kapag napapuwit ako, binubuhat niya ako kahit hindi niya ako kayang buhatin. Ganun po. My mom is my best friend in the whole wide world. Mommy and I love eating Jolly Spaghetti together. Sobra po, walang katapusan na sobrang love ko siya. Ang nagpapasaya po sa akin ay si Mami kasi po, kinikiss niya po ako tapos sinahag. Idol ko si Daddy.
Akala ko po kasi yung nagpapasaya sa kanya yung laruan. Hindi ko po ina-expect na ako yung nagpapasaya sa kanya.
Well, right now, Alam ko namang mahal niya ako eh. Ako lang atang may question sa sarili ko.
Natutuwa ako kasi somehow siguro naiintindihan niya rin na kailangan magtrabaho ako.
Natutuwa po ako kasi na-appreciate po pala niya lahat ng ginagawa ko para sa kanya. Kahit akala ko po wala lang sa kanya. Napakabuti ko po palang ina.
Wait.
Okay. Let's see. So that's Jollibee for you. I hope the message is very clear. We have to take care of the young because many of these things that we are instilling in them now, they are going to have that for the rest of their life. The truth of the matter is, ako mismo, for example, I have met some people who grew up to be, ang tawag dito, full of resentments just because they had um, one teacher or another authority na hindi nila nagustuhan, ano? And then they grow up with full of resentments. On the other hand, I know some people who grow up to be highly motivated thanks to some teachers who made a big difference in their life. So, yung ginagawa natin sa kanila ngayon, what we are trying to instill in them, some of these will be with them forever until the end of their life. Okay, let's now go into, sige nga, give us principles on how we can make our schools of character, and schools that are kind and caring. Remember, ito yung binigay ko sa inyo kanina. Sabi ko, the program of Dr. Licona consists of 12 points. But before we even go into that, we have to look into three big ideas about what your program should be, how your program should be to create a kind and caring school. Number one, a high-quality, comprehensive approach to character education is the most effective way to develop caring classrooms and schools, and thereby reduce or even eliminate bullying. Okay? Dapat high quality and comprehensive. You know, nung 2000, I think that was 2009, lumabas yung Bully Prevention Act, or I think that was 2013. Bully Prevention Act. It became a law. And then suddenly, all schools were required to have a bully prevention program. I found myself the following year going around the Philippines because schools were asking, turuan mo naman kami paano gumawa ng bully prevention program. And hopefully we'll be able to offer that module one of these days in a seminar like this, bully prevention program through character formation, or preventing bullying through character formation. Yung program mo has to be high quality and comprehensive. Okay? Comprehensive, ibig sabihin, everyone involved. High quality, hindi pwedeng like what some schools do. Uy, bully prevention program daw. Sige, maglagay tayo ng no bullying poster all over. Print out na lang, tapos i-paste mo lang dyan, i-tape mo. That's not going to improve the school climate. That is not going to fix bullying. Just having bond paper posters na nakapaskil sa mga dingding here and there. That's not high quality. That's not comprehensive. So we have to have. That's the first big idea. Yung bully prevention program mo, yung creating a kind and caring classroom plan mo has to be high quality and comprehensive. Okay? The 12 points are intentional, deliberate, and they should be deliberately seeking to positively impact character development through every phase of school and classroom life. Kasi ang bullying, for example, many times does not happen inside the classroom. It happens in the cafeteria. It happens sa likod ng basketball court. Ganyan minsan mag-usap yung mga bata. Mamaya sa likod ng basketball court, magkita tayo doon. Sa San Beda, where I studied grade school, ang expression is, mamaya sa likod ng swimming pool, makikita mo. Parang ganun yung usapan. So, if your bully prevention program is only for inside the classroom, paano na ngayon yung bullying that happens sa bus, sa school bus? Which sometimes that's the bigger problem. Or it happens during PE time, doon sa football field, doon sa ilalim ng santol tree. So, the prevention program, the bully prevention program, and the campaign to foster kindness and caring should involve there every phase of school and classroom life. Everyone, in fact, should be made part of this program. Bullying is strongly related to overall school climate. Bullying decreases when school climate improves and when students have greater voice and responsibility for solving problems and making decisions that improve. It's in our hands. Kaya natin to. We can do it. We are in a position to create that climate, to produce that kind of atmosphere in our classroom and in our whole school. I'm going to share with you this video. It's not even in English. Actually, walang dialogue. But I want you to watch closely at the story, and it can be very inspiring, and it can make us teachers decide once and for all, I have to be a good, kind, caring teacher for the sake of these young people. Okay? Umiiyak kayo? Iniiyakan nyo yung ano? Yung patalastas. Medyo complicated ang buhay ng mga kabataan ngayon, ano? I mean, I sometimes tell teachers in talks on classroom management, uy, bago mo sigawan yung batang yan, kausapin mo muna, bakit hindi yan matutulog? Bakit hindi yan aantok-antok sa klase mo? Hanggang alas 3 ng umaga, umiiyak yan. Kasi inabando na sila ng tatay niya. Kasi hindi na umuwi ang nanay niya. Kasi ang nanay at tatay niya, nagsisigawan, nag-aaway buong gabi. Kaya naman ganyan yan, iiyak-iyak at tutulog-tulog sa classroom mo. So in other words, really, our students may pinanggagalingan, are living a complicated life, pick up. Bystanders have to stand up against the bullies. The officers talk about it whenever they can. Here in our campus, we prohibit bullying. We say no to bullying. So it becomes, because of repetition, because it's written in the manual, in the student's handbook, in the poster, in the vision, mission, or the core values, then everyone knows bullying is socially unacceptable. Number 2, it enlists the support of the community, which includes parents, which includes the women selling in the cafeteria, which includes manong guard and manang janitor who's keeping order and cleanliness in our campus. Everyone is involved. And then the non-teaching personnel. Yes, the ladies in the accounting office who also deal with students. All of them have to know that we are all in this together. We are creating a climate of kindness and caring. Number 3, they see increased supervision of playground and other areas. Number 4, they have firm sanctions in place for bullying. Now, sanctions here doesn't only mean detention, suspension, expulsion. Sanctions here can also mean If a student is found to be guilty, for example, of bullying, after investigation, it has found out that he is really guilty. Then the consequence, the sanction is you will have to formulate a kindness campaign. You have to submit a proposal paper that can be instituted in our school, in our campus, to be able to push kindness campaign. Or someone who really has gotten into a serious offense of bullying, your sanction is you're going to spend 1 day in community service, helping out in a home for the aged. Your sanction is for 1 afternoon, you're going to do feeding in the Children's Hospital, National Children's Hospital, feeding the patients there. So you see, it's not just all about punishing, it's about facing the consequence of their actions. And then number 5, use ongoing messages to help students recognize aggression and support and stick up for victims. We have to teach the young people not to tolerate bullying and the bystanders standing up to the bullies. Be kind to others. If if it's not in posters placed all over campus, it has to often come out in the mouth of the teachers kahit anong subject ang tinuturuan natin. The Always Bullying Prevention Program, which turned out to be the best one already in the 44 programs they studied. After 2 years of implementation, it only reduced by 22% the student reports of being verbally bullied. It only reduced by 23% of in reports of being physically bullied. So our interest now is anong gagawin natin dun sa the rest of the 80%? Ang laki nun. Okay, that's what we are talking about here, a comprehensive character education program that not only seeks to suppress the negative behavior of bullying, but also promotes its psychological opposites, which is what this seminar is all about, creating a kind and caring classroom that will produce a kind and caring school. Respect, cooperation, kindness. Because, yes, it's not a cliche, kindness matters. Okay, so let's review. The first big idea, the program must be comprehensive, involving everyone, and high quality. Hindi lang yung masaya ka na kasi meron kang mga posters. That's not going to change the climate. That's not going to improve the school climate. Let's go to big idea number 2. Any virtue and character as a whole has 3 parts. Your program to push kindness and caring has to be knowing, feeling, and behaving. Those are the 3 parts. In other words, it's not enough for the students to know what kindness is. They must be able to feel it, and they must be able to do it, to behave it. In other words, good character means you know it in your head, you feel it in your heart, you show it with your hands. So, how do they know it? You talk about it. You brief them, you orient them, you teach them. How do you make them feel it? The teachers model it. We make them perform acts of kindness, random acts of kindness, or kindness, kind acts in general, through outreach activities, and that leads us to number 3. They have to show it. They have to perform it. They have to do it. Very much like on day 2, pinag-usapan namin, teach like Jesus. Well, Jesus did not just preach. He practiced what he preached. He didn't just teach about doing good. He told the apostles, go out there and do good. And then talk about them with me later on. Let's talk about it. So, knowing, feeling, showing. Kindness has a fellow feel good, whether it's being done to him or by him. Kindness makes a fellow feel good. And it's true. You feel good when you see somebody doing a kind act to another person. Even if you're not the one receiving the kindness, we feel good about it. James Tenson says, young people develop character by what they see, by what they hear, and by what they are repeatedly led to do. That's why directed practice is the most important part. So don't just talk about class. I want this to be a kind class. That's not going to bring about the change of climate. It's not just enough. It's not just enough that they see it, that they even hear it. We have to make them do it. In other words, summarize, big idea number 2, the program must be practical, in action. Okay? And big idea number 3, when we talk of virtues, we talk of moral and performance. Moral virtues to become good and behave ethically, but they also have to be taught performance virtues to become smart and do their best work. As an example, that's why the accreditation of Dr. Thomas Licona is called Accreditation for Excellence and Ethics. Excellence and ethics. Excellence for performance character, ethics for moral character. This is an example of how performance character looks like and how moral or ethical character looks like. You have all these virtues under performance: committing to continuous improvement, goal setting, ethics in work, determination, self-confidence, initiative, creativity. And then under moral or ethical character, you have respect, responsibility, compassion, humility, integrity, justice, moral courage. Without moral character, this is the reason why it's important. Without moral character, the student can be excellent, hardworking, pero will resort to lying, cheating, stealing, and even killing to achieve performance goals. And sadly, sometimes we see this among valedictorians. I mean, those who are running for valedictorians, they're so obsessed with retaining their status, they can actually be resorting to cheating. Cheating, kasi ang gumawa ng module niya, yung nanay. Ang gumawa ng kanyang project, yung output, yung kapatid. Hindi naman talaga siya, pero lalagay yung pangalan doon. And buong pamilya nagtutulong-tulong to help kasi to maintain the valedictorian status. Walang moral character yon. But on the other hand, without performance character naman, ay ang bait-bait nga, pero hindi nag-aaral. Ang bait-bait niyan, very courteous, very very nice, very kind, very sweet, pero kulang sa pag-aaral. Hindi naman sa tamad, yung parang hindi talaga pinupursige. Kulang yung performance character. So, kulang. To develop performance character and moral character, best work and best behavior, to do an ethical learning community. Sama-sama tayo. We have to make it as part of the culture. In the end, we are building here a culture, a school that has a culture of kindness and caring, all working towards the achievement of goals, objectives. Okay? So, third big idea, summary of that is the program must help them to be good and to do good. Not just to do good, but also to be good. But not just to be good, but also to do good. They have to go together. So, to review, therefore, anong ibig sabihin ng character education? Character education means dapat deliberate effort. Dapat developing moral and performance virtues. And dapat comprehensive involving or making use of every phase of school and classroom life. K, kindness matters. Especially ngayon since may problema tayo with school bullying. As I mentioned earlier, it's not just happening in your school, it's happening everywhere. Everyone has to deal with it because it's in the environment. I pinakita ko na sa inyo kanina, the culture of hatred, the glorification of the vulgar, yung mga introduction natin kanina sa it's all there in the air and dinadala ng mga bata sa loob ng classroom. Okay? We need to work now together. Sabi ng nanay, children remind me of chickens seeking out the weak and wounded and pecking them to death. They discovered that my 9-year-old son, who is autistic, is bothered by loud noises, and they scream and whistle in his ear until he cries. Parang, asa ng empathy doon? Asa ng compassion doon? Asa ng friendship doon? Ang kindness, ang caring. When students are victims of peer cruelty, it affects their studies. Minsan ganyan ang nangyayari. Bumabagsak ang bata, bakit kaya? Matalino naman yan dati Honor student pa nga yan dati. Ay, hindi natin alam, binubuli pala kasi siya. Takot pala kasi siya pumasok ng classroom. In fact, kung kaya niya lang maiwasan pumasok ng eskwelahan, iiwasan niyang pumunta ng eskwelahan. Disrupts their social and moral development, makes school a miserable experience, causes some to seek revenge, causes others to even become depressed and suicidal. It's very sad. If the school climate is like that, it's worthwhile doing something about it and working together. Here is a very sad suicide note written by an 8th grade student, a girl. All my life, I have been teased. I love you very much, but I just couldn't stand it anymore. It's happening, and it's very painful. It's very sad. We have to remind everyone, kindness matters, and sometimes it's a matter of life and death for some people. Sabi ng research sa US, every year, 14% of US high schools students seriously consider suicide. Sabi ng research, victims and perpetrators of bullying are both at higher risk of depression and suicide. And the effects of chronic bullying can persist even into adulthood. This video has no sound, but the graphics are enough to remind us to be concerned because some people are broken inside. Some people are damaged internally and we don't see it. In fact, externally, parang, tawa ng tawa. Parang ang saya-saya. Parang walang problema. Hindi natin alam, sa loob-loob pala is there. And don't say, ay sir, sa US lang yan. No, it's right at our doorstep. It's right outside our door. It's happening even in our backyard. Bullying blamed for Batangas teens suicide. Sabi nitong news report. Cyberbullying pushes 12-year-old Phil-Am to commit suicide. It's happening. It's happening. That thing of mental health is a real thing. Tapos ngayon, meron pa tayong online learning that is pushing some people also to depression and suicide, and they're affected. Sabi ng US Secret Service study, 2/3 of the student shooters, yung mga shooting in campus, yung killing, had been bullied by fellow students. The societal costs of bullying. By adulthood, 60% of school bullies will have a criminal conviction. Peer exclusion in kindergarten is associated with lower academic achievement in later grades. Even observing someone else being bullied can lower a student's academic performance. Apektado raw kahit yung mga hindi victims, but they see it, they observe it. They too are affected in their academic performance. Such is the cost of bullying. Okay, so let's talk about how can we be successful in this effort to create a kind and caring classroom. 3 secrets. Dapat the staff is involved. Dapat the students are involved. And tama yung kaninang sinabi, dapat the parents are involved. When I was young, I used to admire intelligent people. As I grow older, I admire kind people. So, sabi nitong book ni Dr. Thomas Licona on smart and good high schools, how can we get the staff involved so that we make our school a school of character, a school, a kind and caring school? Well, here is the first step to involve the staff. Create a touchstone. What is a touchstone? It's like a mission for all involved in the school, like a battle cry na alam ng lahat ng tao sa eskwelahan. Students, parents, teachers, non-academic staff, non-teaching staff, all of them know what the school stands for. All of them know what we hold dear as our core values. Better yet, involve the students and the staff themselves in writing the touchstone. Ito ang secret ng eskwelahan dyan sa Katipunan. Lahat sila alam. Alumni, students, parents, teachers, non-teaching staff, in their school, they want to produce men for others. That's their touchstone. A man for others. Yun ang kanilang touchstone, yun ang kanilang core value, yun ang kanilang battle cry, yun ang kanilang motto. That is a successful touchstone. Here's an example of a touchstone from Northridge Way. I mean, they call it the Northridge Way. At Northridge School, we pursue excellence in scholarship and character. We celebrate and honor each other by being respectful, honest, kind, and fair. We give our best inside and outside the classroom. This is who we are, even when no one is watching. And then you make the students recite this. You make the students copy it in their notebook. You can even make them write it in every exam paper, yung major exam paper. I grew up in Southridge, where I studied high school, and we were made to recite every Friday, Monday and Friday, every start of the assembly, every major activity. We raised our hand and we recite that very long credo. I am a Southridge gentleman, and I dedicate myself to our mission of strengthening the family and of forming people according to the Christian ideals. It's long, but those ideas come back to me sometimes when I have to make decisions. Those ideas continue to dictate how I make choices, for example, to serve others, especially the needy, to have zest for learning and virtue, driven by my personal commitment. Those ideas keep on coming to our mind when we are confronted with choices. It works. Touchstone works. And better yet, it works because you expect it even of the lady selling in the cafeteria, the people keeping order and cleanliness in the computer lab, the PE teacher, the technician, everyone, no exemption, will be aware of the touchstone. We put it in our decorations, we put it in our campus, we make it visible, because here's another example of a touchstone. created by the high school counselor, that we have expectations of how to act and how not to act. That's it. That's just the way we do things here. So, touchstone implementation, you can make it successful and effective if your touchstone has the following um, traits or characters. Number one, visibility. It's visible. It's written at the entrance, in every classroom, in the corridors, in the cafeteria. You make as I said, you can make the students write it on their notebook so that everyone in school knows this is what we stand for. These are our core values. And then academics. The teachers of whatever subject try to make a connection with that touchstone. For example, um, as I mentioned earlier, if your touchstone is we expect upright behavior, we expect um, truthfulness, sincerity. So, kahit anong subject binibigay mo, when you're giving an exam class, remember our touchstone, I expect everyone to be honest. I expect no one to even think about cheating. It's incorporated. Or literature teachers, you're teaching a book and you're going to say, this character in this novel, if he were a student here in our campus, he would have already been expelled because he does not live our touchstone. Or the opposite, this character, if he happens to be a student in our school, would most likely be an ideal honor student because he lives our touchstone. So teachers have to find a way of incorporating the touchstone in their teachings, in their lesson. And the same way, disciplining. Do you know why you have been given that consequence of your action, the detention or the suspension? Because what you did went way against our touchstone, against our core values, what we believe in. So even in the way we discipline, pumapasok yung touchstone. And then, very important, new students, they have to learn how we do things here, what we believe in, our credo, our touchstone, our mission, vision. We don't take it for granted. New teacher, the same. Very thorough training in this because, well, that should be, in fact, an ongoing professional development. The staff, non-academic, everyone should be made to go deeper and deeper in their understanding and appreciation. Let me show you a sample of a school that really seriously, or rather take seriously this effort at making their touchstone visible, or the kindness campaign palpable. Let's spread kindness like confetti. Well, I know she's in the audience, but this morning I also talked about it. I was very impressed visiting, for example, a school in Calamba, in Los Baños, Morning Star Montessori School, where every classroom you would have the kindness tree. Kindness tree. And what is the kindness tree? Well, the students, they are made to do kind acts at home, uh, whether it is a simple thing of helping the younger brother in his studies. And then they have a piece of paper that they would make their parents sign on it to prove that they did that good act, or helping wash the dishes. That's a kind act. And then the parents sign that piece of paper, or help clean the house. Okay, that's a kind act. The parents sign it. And then they come to the classroom the next day, they put it there in the kindness tree. One look at the tree and you see how flourishing the kind acts have been being done by the students, how many acts of kindness have been done by the students. And you go from one classroom to another comparing the blooming kindness tree. It's in the air, it's visible, it's making them do, perform, not just understanding, not just hearing, not just seeing, but they're actually doing. It's effective. It's an effective strategy. And so you have that school as the first school of character in the Philippines. And well, God hoping when once we are finished with this pandemic and we all are back to normal and face to face with our students, being able to confidently go to school without any fear of any virus, then hopefully we will be able to get back at seeing visible touchstones, shaping lives, creating a culture, creating a whole new environment. No? Okay, so that's how we get everyone involved to make sure that it's visible, it's part of academics, it's the way we discipline, it's part of the orientation of the students and part of the formation program of our teachers. It becomes the culture of the school more than just a slogan, okay? More than just um something that is printed in our manual. It's alive. Kindness does wonderful things to a face. Okay, you get the point, no? So, sabi ng research, sabi ng plan program of Dr. Thomas Licona, three secrets to success of any program: staff should be involved, students should be involved, and parents should be involved. Okay? Well, it's in my time, it's already 4:58, and so we're running out of time. As I said earlier, I do not expect to be able to cover all the strategies and all, but just to finish off with numbers 2 and 3, students should be involved. That's why um, there was one conference I attended in Washington D.C. Sabi ng speaker, you're going to hear many, many strategies during these days of the conference. But if there is only one that you're going to bring home, let it be this: do students meeting, do class meetings, so that your students get involved in problem solving, involved in discussing what is going right, what is going wrong, and what can we do to address any concern that there may be. Class meeting, and this can be done by any teacher. I mean, you, even if you have online classes, you can actually be doing class meetings. So just to rattle off, for example, um, here are 20 different kinds of class meetings that you can do. Good news meeting, just discussing what are the good news, what are the good things that are happening, and let everybody contribute. Circle whip, circle because, well, normally you form a circle, but if you cannot do it because of physical limitation, just get the circle whip. Simply means everyone should have the turn to be able to contribute. Completing a statement. Here are some samples of statements that they complete. Okay, class, in this meeting now, I want you to complete the statement, something I like about this class, and let everybody contribute. No objections, no questions, no corrections. Just let everybody speak up, and you're going to pick up many things. Uy, hindi ko alam, ganun pala ka popular itong thing that is happening. They like it so much. Majority mentioned it. or something I think would make our class better, then a point for improvement. Again, no arguments, no objection, just let everybody contribute. Or I'm wondering why, and then let them complete it. And you will be surprised. Wow, hindi pala nila naintindihan ito. Hindi pala, the teacher can come up with many resolutions, or the class itself. Something that bothers me. And then again, let everybody, that's a circle with everybody putting in something that bothers them. And then you don't realize, uy, many pala are affected by this concern, this problem. And then what do we do? What can we do about it? Okay? Or the meeting can just be all about appreciation time or compliments time, complimenting one person or another, one good thing that happens in another, or goal setting. Normally you do this at the start of the school year. Class, sige nga, as a class, what will be our goals? Academics, attitude, behavior, discipline. Next set, rule setting meeting, rule evaluating meeting, stage setting meeting, feedback and evaluation, reflections on learning. You see, and when you make the students do this, you are empowering them and you are making them own what is wrong that is happening inside the classroom, what is good that is happening. You make them own it. You empower them. They now become part of the solution. They now own this idea of how to create a kind and caring classroom. Student presentation, problem solving meeting, academic issues meeting, classroom improvement meeting, and then a follow-up on that meeting that we had last week where we talked about problems. Sige nga, what then can we do to solve the problems? You see, when you do this, everyone now starts feeling a part of the community. Day one, that was one of the strongest, most important points I raised. If you are to create a strong classroom, it has to be a community. Finally, the last five, planning meeting, concept meeting, sticky situations meeting, suggestion box or class business meeting, meeting about, sige, let's plan out our meetings in the coming days, in the coming weeks. Okay, well, but it's already time just to end. For the last one, for the very last one, the parents. The parents have to be made involved as well. We will not be able to tackle that anymore. And you can involve the parents in the first place by making sure they know what the school stands for. They are aware of what we actually hold dear as our objectives, as our touchstone. Okay? Very well. The slides, as I said, is made up of 252 slides, and I only got as far as 140. But the whole thing can be downloaded from the Facebook page, and I encourage you to go over the rest of the strategies. Some of them are self-explanatory, and they can be very, very useful for you. Okay? And sabi ko kanina, I will, I was offering a reward, but then at the same time, it's not really just a reward. You see, in the past sessions, I mentioned fantastic materials that you can use, for example, to get more stories, di ba? To build up on fantastic stories with high impact and with effects. Well, unfortunately, these books are not available locally. Actually, they might do reprinting in February according to the local distributor of these Champions of the Rosary and the book on Saint Joseph, Consecration to Saint Joseph. Two books by Father Donald Calloway that are really fantastic amazing. This Champions of the Rosary, for example, is 400 plus pages of stories on the history of the Holy Rosary. And it costs this much. You can download it or you can get a paperback version. But my friend, you can buy it for almost $10, or if you want it delivered, $26 plus shipping. Pero if you email catholicconference2020 at gmail.com, you can receive, but he's charging a PDF file for only $1 each for the books, no? $1 for Champions of the Rosary and $1 for the consecration to Saint Joseph. To order, you will have to email this catholicconference2020 at gmail.com, and you will be instructed on how to go about ordering your copy at that 50 peso cost. This Champions of the Rosary is 400 plus pages. Consecration to Saint Joseph is 200 plus pages, but fantastic material for getting deeper into the understanding of the Rosary, and the uh, lots of stories, powerful stories that you can use inside the classroom. Well, it's already time. I've gone beyond time. If you want to ask some questions, please do email catalystpds@gmail.com. Okay, let me type it here. Catalystpds, sorry, catalystpds there at gmail.com. Especially for those of you, for the first time attendees, you can get a certificate for your attendance to this seminar um, by emailing catalystpds@gmail.com, indicating the title of the seminar you attended, and then the full name you want to appear in the full name that you want to appear in the certificate. Okay? Now, some of you, this is your second or third or fourth. If you already received the certificates for the past sessions you attended, please do not include anymore the titles of those certificates you received. Okay? Because I saw today some people emailing 4 titles when they already have the certificates for the first 2. So that will add work to us, make it easier for us by just emailing us the title of the certificate you're still requesting because you have not received it yet, and then your full name as you want it to appear in the certificate, and you will immediately get your certificate. I was announcing yesterday, give us 5 days, pero mabilis pala magtrabaho yung staff. So all the certificates that have been requested have already been emailed. And as I said, you can download the whole presentation as well as the recording of this talk from that Facebook page, Catholic School Teachers Materials. Okay, very great. I'm so happy to see we were as many as 60 earlier. Some have already logged out. And we hope to see you again in our future seminars. We still have one more to go tomorrow, developing grit, resilience, and empathy. And I will be asking the help of my good friend, Teacher Hedy, to share with us some of her expertise and some of her experiences in developing grit, resilience, and empathy from her School of Character, Morningstar Montessori School. And I hope this has been helpful for you. Sayang umalis na yung iba, but can you open your screen, your videos? Let's have our mandatory pictorials so that I can post these pictures in the Facebook page. Please open your screen. There are 2 pages here, so I will have to make you smile a little bit longer. Okay, let's smile for the picture. Turn on your video screen if you can. And 1, 2, smile. Great. Page 2. Let's have the picture of those who are in page 2. Can you please turn on your videos if you can. Let's give our sweetest smile. Yung parang ang saya-saya natin sa seminar. 1, 2, and smile. Okay, great. Fantastic. Thank you, everyone, fellow teachers, for joining us in our session today. And I look forward to being able to visit your schools that hopefully will already be a school that is kind and caring by the time I get to see it. Okay? You can unmute yourself if you want to say goodbye, and thank
Thank
you
you, sir.
to everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
It's been
Thank you,
an honor.
Salamat, sir.
See you in
Salamat
Facebook.
kaayo.
Salamat,
See
sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And I will
God
be.
bless.
God bless everyone. Merry
Thank you,
Christmas
sir.
and a
God bless
Happy New
everyone.
Year. And hope to see you again. Ending the meeting in 4, 3, 2. God bless everyone. And 1.